George and Taylor Hendricks looked awesome for Utah. It's the Utah Jazz post-game show on the Hoops Nerd channel. All right, guys, before we get into it, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com, use promo code HoopsNerd. They will match you up to $100. If you have the rebound over on Hendricks, you would have hit tonight. By the way, start hitting that over on Hendricks rebounds because it's only going to get better and it's going to be easy money. Anyways, free $100 if you go there because they will match. You put $5 down, they will give you $5 and you can win times 3. So you put $5 down, a times 5 bet turns into double the amount. So anyways, go to prizepicks.com, use promo code HoopsNerd. It also supports the channel. I would really appreciate it. All right, the Utah Jazz had a really impressive night tonight against the Miami Heat. Of course, the Heat win behind an absolutely phenomenal game from Jimmy Butler, who is looking like prime playoff Jimmy Butler already. He's getting ready for a big-time playoffs, and he looked monstrous tonight. Butler tonight had 37 points. He took 11 free throws. He was perfect from 3, which was crazy. I mean, that's some of the luck the Jazz have with some of this three-point shooting that happens is pretty bad. I mean, they had a game where Draymond Green, not like 3 or 4 games ago, goes 3 for 3 in the first half. Jimmy Butler, who's not known for being a big-time three-point shooter, goes 3 for 3 in this one. Pretty crazy stuff. But anyways, when he's playing well, he's pretty hard to stop. But yeah, 37 points for Butler, 7 assists, 11 free throws. He goes 90% from the free throw line, 63% from the field. He was absolutely superstar stuff tonight. When he is at his peak, it is pretty tough to stop. And so the fact that the Jazz were so close in this one and darn near won this game is really impressive considering who was on the floor. Obviously, Lauri Markkanen, he plays 40 minutes in this one. The Jazz really went for it in this game. They wanted to win. 25 points for Markkanen. Yes, the 2-point shot continues not to fall for him. It's not good lately, but the 3-point shot is 4 for 9 from 3, 44%. He's hitting that 3, and when he is, it does increase that value with him. But, you know, the 2-point shot was not falling. I mean, look at that. He goes like 1 for 6, is that, for 2-point shots? Pretty tough, but he does go 11 for 12 from the free throw line, and this is the thing that makes me happy. Now, he drives to the basket, gets knee to knee contact. There's how you say it. From Bam Adebayo, and he was pretty hobbled for the rest of the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if he possibly doesn't play next game because the Jazz are playing the Wizards, and they are currently the worst team in the NBA. That's right. They are now worse than the Detroit Pistons, and that actually helps the Jazz because guess what? They own that second-round pick from the Wizards in this draft, so they now have the best second-round pick. You know, once the first round ends, the first pick in the second round is for the Utah Jazz, so kind of nice for Utah to get a pretty good second-round pick, the best second-round pick. Anyways, this is nice to see. The thing that I have been watching with Markkanen, and look at this, 6 assists. These are 2 things that are really nice to see from Markkanen, and why you got to give him a lot of credit. He played really well tonight. And why? For one, he battled against a really tough Miami Heat team, and he got to the free throw line. 12 free throws is fantastic. And then look at this, the 6 assists. These are legit. Some of the reads he's making are pretty good. I don't know what his career high in assists are, but this has got to be pretty close. 6 assists is great, and they are legit assists. He made one where he kind of drove to the free throw line and then hit Keyonte George in the corner for a 3. That's big-time stuff. So to see this growth from Markkanen is really nice. His defense, especially when he plays the 3, has been not very good this second half of the season. He's got to improve as a defender, but you know, that may just be something that the Jazz have to live with because he does bring so much to the team, and he's such a good rebounder. I mean, this one he gets 4 rebounds, but part of that is because Taylor Hendricks was gobbling him up with 13. But between Markkanen, Hendricks, and Collins, they get 20 rebounds there, or whatever. What is that? 23. So really impressive stuff. So we'll see. Markkanen at the 4 is a better defender. He's just because he doesn't have to be quite as quick laterally. But with Taylor Hendricks on the floor, they're usually able to, they can kind of make it work because you can put Taylor Hendricks on the 3 like the Jazz did tonight. And now this is going to be a quicker video tonight. Sorry, I have some things I got to do. I'm actually going to Dune 2 tonight. I don't know if any of you have seen Dune 2, but I love Dune. Love the books. At least the first two are really good. I still got to finish the second one, actually, but that first book is really good. This is a side note. If you have not listened to the book on tape for Dune, the good one it's really good book on tape. Really good. It's a little slow to start, kind of like this Jazz season, but then holy smokes, does it get better. Holy cow. Once a certain someone gets betrayed, that book is fantastic. All right, so Taylor Hendricks had 13 rebounds tonight. And as we mentioned, Markkanen at the three is not that great. But what Hendricks does for you in this situation is he's able to guard that three. It's really nice. Hendricks goes 4 for 7 tonight. A lot of this was like putbacks, although he did have a mid-range pull-up. He missed his 2 threes he took, but these will eventually start falling. We know he can shoot the three from college. We know he can. And we've been seeing him shoot the three. In fact, I kind of am curious, what is he at for the season? It's probably not even as bad as you think. For the season, he is shooting 31%. That's going to go up. Just the fact that he's in the 30s is nice to see. But 31.8, that will go up. It's going to take some time. He's just barely getting these starting minutes. I mean, what is this, 5th, 6th start for him? Christian House Money to Haas, $5, man. I really appreciate it. Fantastic. Thank you, my friend, so much. But anyways, a lot to be excited about. I think the ceiling for Hendricks is actually higher than we thought. And his defensive versatility allows Markkanen to be on the floor with him. Whereas they kind of struggled before where it's John Collins, Walker Kessler. Taylor Hendricks' versatility actually makes a difference. And the fact that we're seeing Markkanen move that ball, this starting unit has some interesting things. Now, we're in like the last third of the season, and the Jazz are not very likely to make the playoffs. I still think they have a chance to convey this pick, although it's going to be hard. In fact, let's just check this really quickly. Utah, even though they've lost 3 in a row, still in the 11 spot, still conveying the pick. Anyways, Taylor Hendricks has more versatility than I thought, and it's especially on the defensive end. He can guard 1 through 5, guys. It's pretty crazy. And so what that allows Markkanen to do is slide over to the 4. And the Jazz played pretty darn good defense tonight. They played pretty darn good. I mean, I know Butler scored 37, but they were in this game. 126 to 120. I don't know what... well, you know what? Let's just really quickly. I'm going to get in trouble here with Mrs. Hoops Nerd, but I want to see this. Let's go to... Oh, man. See... And we're live, but I don't care. Let's go to team stats, and I want to look at just tonight's game. What is today? The 2nd of March? Let's go to advanced, and then let's go to March 2nd. Let's just do today to today, and let's get the stats. The Jazz had a defensive rating. Oh, maybe it wasn't that good. Well, they had nearly the same as Miami. Dang it. That didn't work. So what a waste of like 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's what happens sometimes. That's what happens when you go live. Anyways, I felt like the Jazz played great defense tonight anyway. You know, they played pretty well. Jimmy Butler was 3 for 3 from 3. He was absolutely unstoppable tonight. And I felt like outside of guarding him, the Jazz did pretty well. And so Markkanen can guard the 4 with Taylor Hendricks on the floor. That versatility from Hendricks is amazing. He can guard 1 through 5. I mean, I had this thought the other day watching him. You know, some players, when they do a contest at the 3-point line, it's not that impressive. Like a Markkanen contest sometimes is like, it doesn't seem to really impact the player. But Taylor Hendricks, there's just something about him when he contests a shot. It really puts some fear into the shooter that they just kind of alter their shot just that little bit because they see him coming. He has an impressive skill set on the defensive end and on the offensive end. We're going to see it continue to get better. We saw him drive to the basket a couple times. He has that little mid-range pull-up. I mean, there's some real ceiling there. You know, I don't know how much his handle can really improve, but if he can be someone that can drive to the basket, kind of drive, knock down a mid-range pull-up, some things like that, he can probably play in the post a little more than we're seeing. Pretty nice to see. And he even had an assist in this one. So really impressive stuff from Taylor Hendricks. And then the rebounding. He's a special rebounder. He uses that athleticism in traffic and grabs boards. He is the type of guy that is going to be, it's hard not to get really excited about what Taylor Hendricks is showing, but why can't he become like a 16-12 guy at least? with how he rebounds the ball and with his shooting ability. And if he adds some sort of handle to his game, like a mid-range pull-up, post stuff, I mean, he could be a 20 and 12. I mean, that's kind of like a potential. I'm not saying that's what he's going to be, but he could. Why not? Tonight he was 13 rebounds and 8 points. And he only took 7 shots. When that 3 ball is falling, I could see him being, honestly, maybe like 16 and 12 on efficiency with incredible defense. That's quite the player. John Collins, I just want to give some love to John Collins. It's a standard night for him, basically. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and he just plays hard. I love he also rebounds in traffic. Collins and Hendricks together is quite the rebounding duo. I know neither of them are like 7'1" or anything like that, but they're both really good rebounders. They do really good. So really nice to see. And I just love that Collins spreads the floor. The Jazz obviously want to play a spread floor. They want 5 out. That's the style of play they want to do. And you know what? John Collins brings it. And, I know his contract is literally the biggest on the Jazz, but it's fine. He brings that versatility to the offense that they need. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game. They don't have as much playmaking as they'd like, I'm sure. But Hendricks and Collins together spread that floor as a front court. And it makes the Jazz kind of a tough cover. And when you've got Keyonte George and Colin Sexton playing like they did tonight, the Jazz become really tough, And so it's a fun team to watch. They play really well. And I personally just get a lot of fun and joy out of watching this Jazz team with the spread floor. And by the way, did anyone really, we didn't really miss Walker Kessler all that much tonight. It might have been nice at points to end the game because I do think you likely could have had him protecting the rim against Jimmy Butler, but then the Heat are so well coached that they probably get some things on the perimeter. And I do think there's a few things, and this is just quick. I don't want to harp on this too much, but I think what we're seeing from the Jazz, even from these last 2 or 3 games without Kessler, is that some of his numbers might be a little inflated. Some of that advanced stuff might be a little more than it actually is. Those advanced things are based off of stats and percentages and synergy and all of that. And sometimes those things lie. Like, they do tell you a story, but sometimes that story doesn't have all the different nuances that you need. If the rim protection numbers are good, but you never get that second, you never get the rebound or things like that, then that's something. I don't know. I think it's just something to watch, but I don't know if Kessler is an elite perimeter defender guarding the 3-point line. And yes, he is a good rim protector, but there's some things there that are interesting. When the Jazz are playing like this defensively, I don't know. The Jazz just need more talent, and they'll get more of it during this draft, and we'll see what they do in the offseason. If they just want to go really young and lose some games next year to try to get Cooper Flagg, or maybe they go and they try to bring on some talent. They do have cap space, although they're going to use that to sign Lauri Markkanen, and we'll see what they do. Taylor Horton-Tucker is going to fall off. They could trade, Jordan Clarkson and John Collins or something. I don't know if they will. Obviously, literally anything could happen this offseason, and I would not be surprised. Outside of like Keyonte George and Taylor Hendricks being traded, I doubt they. But you never know. I guess if Luka Doncic becomes available and they're like, we want Keyonte George, and I guess, but that's not going to happen. And so I think the biggest likelihood for the Jazz is Keyonte George and Taylor Hendricks are core parts of the future. Lauri Markkanen, I'm sure they want to re-sign and make him a part of what they do for a long time. But outside of that, I'm not quite sure what happens with every other player. We'll see. It's going to be a wild offseason. Let's see. So we mentioned Keyonte George. Phenomenal night. He is, I don't know why they mark him as shooting guard, because he is the point guard. He had 4 assists tonight, 31 points. He shot 52% from the field. He hit 6 threes for 6 of 14, 42%. Absolutely star stuff from Keyonte George. Absolute superstar stuff. I don't know if superstar, but this is just like elite play from Keyonte George, who is looking like the absolute point guard for this Jazz team for a long time. When he's on the floor, good things are happening. Yeah, he had like a little stretch there in the third where he turned the ball over and it was a little tough. And these 5 turnovers are, that's just kind of the rookie stuff. He's just learning. There was even one play where He's just got to get more minutes, and he'll just continue to get better. Like, he got that one corner three blocked. I think he would have hit 7 for 14. All he had to do was pump fake, sidestep, and knock it down. And we know he can do that. It's just experience with him. He just needs more reps, and that's what he's getting. That's the point of what the Jazz are doing right now. And so it's fun to watch. And Keyonte is just becoming a star every single night. Leads the team in minutes right there. Look at that, 43 minutes. He wanted to be on the floor for nearly this entire game. That means he only sat for like 5 minutes. Pretty impressive stuff from Keyonte George. Colin Sexton is looking a little bit more like that Colin Sexton when the Jazz went like 10-2. He's looking great. He drove to the rim and scored in multiple ways. He hit 4 free throws tonight, 18 points, 5 assists for Sexton. When Sexton plays like he does tonight, and he's engaged and he's going hard and he's driving to the basket and being efficient, he's really nice. And tonight he really showed that. So it was nice to see Colin Sexton kind of have a bounce back game. Really good to see. Tough game for Chris Dunn, who was in foul trouble for a lot of this. 4 personal fouls. He had a moment where he was trying to guard Jimmy Butler, and they kind of went at it, jawing at each other. Not the greatest Chris Dunn night, but I don't know. Like we always say, it's just nice to have Chris Dunn on the team. Yurtsevin played 14 minutes, and they were pretty good minutes. Look at that, plus 10 for Yurtsevin. Who knew Yurtsevin would have his revenge game against his former team, the Miami Heat? 3 for 4 from the field. Look at this. He is a high-level offensive rebounder. Tonight he has 2 of those and 3 defensive rebounds for 5 rebounds. He's pretty solid. For a third center, pretty nice. And we know that he can kind of step out to the 3 and knock it down if you need him to, but nice night from him. Talen Horton-Tucker played. I actually felt like it was not too bad, but you know what? 1 for 7 is hard to overcome. He is such a wild player. Like, it's just so I don't know how to describe it. It's just so chaotic. That's what he is. He's a chaotic player. And there are times where he's doing great things, and there are times, he went 1 for 2 from 3, but then 1 for 7 from the field is just tough to overcome. He did have 8 rebounds and 3 assists. It's just chaos. When he's on the floor, it's chaos, and you just never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you'll get this great play. Like, he had that 1 rebound where he went up and got it from 3 Miami Heat players. Sorry, guys. I don't know why my body is trained to freaking yawn. It's annoying. And then he'll have plays like he'll knock down a 3 from Markkanen or whatever. But then he'll have plays where he just kind of drives into 4 guys and kind of loses the ball and makes a bad pass, or does like a fadeaway 2 against 3 guys, and you're just like, what are you doing? It's just chaos. And I don't know if it will ever not be chaos. And maybe he'll go to another team next year and figure it out. But for now, I just think it's not getting that much different. And he seems like a great guy, great teammate, good attitude. And so you got to give him a lot of credit. But man, it's just that chaos sometimes that is really hard to overcome. Even though he is long, and I do think it helps the defense just having his length out there. But man, kind of tough. Hoping Dune is better than Dunn was today. Chris Dune. I kind of like that. That's fun. No, it's not Dovahkiin. That's freaking Skyrim. What is it? The Hatsak Mirashak. Whatever. From the book. Itsak Mirajak Tak Chak Badak Chak. That is Keyonte. He is the Hadshak Mirashak. If you haven't seen Dune or read the book, you know what I'm talking about. Listen to the book on tape. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. In Dune, if you haven't watched it, by the way, great movie. It's on Netflix. They did a really great job. Honestly, one of the best recreations of a novel I've ever seen. It is great how they recreated that book. The book is still fantastic. Like, the intensity of that book is really good. I highly recommend Dune. But the movie does a good job of recreating it. And apparently this second Dune movie is like better than the first. And, the story was great. The betrayal of I forgot all the characters' names of his father. The father's betrayal is so good. Oh my gosh. Dune is just such one of the most classic stories ever written, in my opinion. Go read Dune. Go watch Dune. Dune 2 is out. I am so excited. Yes, Oscar Isaac plays the dad and does a great job. He's so good. Sadly, Well, no spoilers for those who haven't seen it. Go watch the movie. It's on Netflix, and then go watch the second one in theaters. It's freaking good. All right, Bryce Sensabaugh, that 3-shot is pure and smooth. I mean, that is like smooth ice cream, man. That's like a Frosty, that 3-point shot. It is really nice to see. Is there anything better than a Frosty, by the way? The Duke Atreides. Thank you, Lars. That's why you're the real deal. The House of Atreides. Bryce Sensabaugh looks like he's from the House of Atreides with that jump shot. It is smooth, and he knocks that down from distance like the Worm Riders of Dune. He is fantastic. 6 points for him. He had some rookie moments tonight. 2 pretty brutal turnovers, which in reality, the turnovers from the rookies tonight, combined Keyonte and Bryce, that's just tough because the Jazz did so well. I mean, actually, the Jazz overall with the turnovers, they had just 10 tonight, which is remarkable, actually. That level of consistency is great. So tough night for Bryce Sensabaugh with those 2 turnovers, but man, that jump shot is pure. And at worst, he is a knockdown 3-point shooter for Utah. But what we know from college is that he can put the ball on the floor. He can score it in a myriad of ways. So it's going to be fun to watch Sensabaugh as the season goes on. All right, guys, I think that's all I got tonight. I've got to go do some things with the family, with Mrs. Hoops Nerd. We're going to go watch Dune tonight. I got to go get my daughter's birthday is on Monday, and I'm going to need to make the cake tomorrow. I'm making a chocolate cake. Cream cheese frosting in the middle on a 3-tiered chocolate cake, and then the top will be a fluffy chocolate ganache. That's right. The cream, the chocolate cocoa powder. It's going to be good. All right. I am not going to refresh this because I got to hurry, so we'll just keep it as it is. If we see a new All-Star next time, we will give them their nickname. All right, let's see. Oh, crud. I forgot to. We got to start the music here. All right, you know what? Let's just make sure. We got to give credit where credit's due. By the way, guys, thank you for being on this channel. This channel is my favorite place to be honest. There's so many places on the internet that are not very fun, but this one is always fun, and I appreciate every single one of you guys for supporting this channel. Really appreciate it. All right, let's give a shout out to... Oh, I almost forgot. The Tim Protector Robot, Nathan Burnett Burkhart, Dirty Jazz Car Wash Channel, Platinum Eagles, Fly, The Real Deal, Lars Jarvin, and Ryan Perry, The Legends, Just Buckets, JB, Baby Elliott Matson, Christian House Money to Haas, The Outlaw, Jesse James Nelson, Ezekiel Raicibe, The Man from Down Under, See ya, Lex Slater, Built Ford, Tough Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arrizaga Mio Vivo, De Abajo, Jordan the Goat Best Rule, TGD, Total Game Domination, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, Austin or Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, KG10 to TH5, DW to CB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer, Patrick Kubo, The Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. Thank you again, DW to CB, for the $2 donation. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. If you're a Jazz fan and if you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, get that done, guys. I will talk to you next time.